Center, crcnashville.org is also an avenue, a reputable source where donations can be directed. And of course, the American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and then any reputable local charitable organization in the area, to include churches. Churches will be already working with those communities to host shelters, and those that are requiring shelters right now. And so if you're looking to help, and I would ask that you do help, donations to those organizations, and then monetary donations to those locations, those organizations, and then physical donations can be taken to the Army when that's open. And we don't know quite when that is yet, but our team is working to set that up now. Responders from across Tennessee have been practicing for this. This was the first deployment of the Tennessee National Guard Nashville Helicopter Aquatic Rescue Team to help with the recovery and rescue efforts. We just practiced this with a large exercise 2 weeks ago to validate this capability, and the city of Nashville was a great partner, Tennessee National Guard, Tennessee Highway Patrol. I'm sure if you've been in the area, you've seen those helicopters flying to help find those that are missing and rescue those that need rescuing. And swiftwater rescue teams from across Tennessee. The outpouring of volunteer spirit has been apparent here in these first 48 hours, and we just ask that in the weeks and months ahead, that the city of Waverly and Dixon, Humphreys County writ large, Hickman County, and Houston County, that please keep them all in your thoughts and share generously as Tennesseans do. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Also on the ground with us today were Senators Hagerty and Senator Blackburn. If you'd like to make some comments, be welcome.
Thank you, Governor. Yes, we have seen so much devastation today and have talked with families, loss of life, livelihood, loss of their homes, and the needs for Humphreys County are just going to be tremendous. But as Patrick said, the volunteer spirit is indeed alive and well, and they have shown up today, and volunteers from all across the state coming to help with the search, coming to help people to salvage what they can from homes that were completely moved off of their foundations. And I had a conversation with Secretary Mayorkas from Homeland Security. They are waiting and ready to respond. So we look forward to doing our part to work with the governor and also with the local mayors to address the tremendous need that is going to be on the ground.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Senator Blackburn. Patrick, it was impressive to see the operation you put in place on the field in very short order. What we saw today was devastation at a level that is absolutely heartbreaking. What we've seen is the Tennessee spirit at the same time. We've seen people that have lost family members, people that don't know where family members are, but we've seen Tennesseans come to aid. I was so touched to see first responders from all over Tennessee there on the ground doing everything they can to help address this problem. As Patrick mentioned, I think we as Tennesseans can do more by making contributions to reputable organizations and to churches who will be in a position to make a real difference. We toured an elementary school today. That school has been devastated. I couldn't believe the amount of damage that occurred. These kids are going to need supplies, they're going to need care, they're going to need your prayers. I'd like to say this. Senator Blackburn and I are going to do everything that we can to support Governor Lee to make certain that the grants that are coming this way happen as quickly and as expeditiously as possible. We'll be doing everything that we possibly can to make certain that Tennessee is taken care of. The news media has been very focused on what's happening in other areas, Haiti, Afghanistan, hurricanes coming to the Northeast. But I think that we need to understand that the devastation here in Tennessee has been every bit as significant, and we intend to put every amount of attention that we can to make certain that we take care of Tennessee's needs. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will, to that end, the Biden administration has reached out to us. We've been in communication with them today. President Biden expressed his interest in helping. We will be putting together a request for an emergency federal assistance, a declaration of emergency, So those talks are happening right now, and that request for assistance will happen after assessments are done, initial assessments within just the next couple of days. Be happy to answer any of your questions. Yes.
Governor, I would imagine, given how quick it was, how unexpected, that there's a lot of folks who did not have flood insurance, don't think of themselves in a floodplain, who are affected here. I mean, I know, there's this FEMA money with the declaration, but it's almost never nearly enough. Mm-hmm. Is there something that you've been contemplating? Is this a special circumstance where the state steps in a new and different way?
I think, it's brand new on the ground right now, and it's actually still unfolding. So we'll be looking at the individual circumstances with this particular flood and see if there is what help is going to be available. We want to provide help to the Tennesseans, and we want to look for avenues for that. So we'll explore that clearly in the next few days.
Governor Lee.
Yes.
Flooding has occurred here before in this area. Are you all planning to look at different ways that you could prevent this from happening in the future?
Well, the difference, of course, for this particular flood is the record level of flooding. I think we received about 15 inches of rain in a 12-hour period of time. Not sure about that particular number, but close to that, which is very different than flooding we've had before. But I'm sure there will be assessments after the fact. What happened, how it happened. Are there ways that we can look to mitigate this going forward? But right now we know this is a result of a record flood, like that community has not seen before with regard to the amount of rainfall. Yes?
Is there a timeline for search and rescue efforts?
Patrick, you want to comment that? Make a comment on that?
Yeah, so there are still rescuers there looking, and we are trying to account for missing persons. So the sheriff and the law enforcement officers there, with state support, are continuing to try to identify those that are missing and then working through those lists. I would expect, given the number of fatalities we have seen so far, that we're going to see mostly recovery efforts at this point, rather than rescue efforts.
Can you talk a little bit about what goes into the search and recovery efforts, how it works?
Right. So there's a setup, right? So there's a reunification center that is set up there, and where people can let us know who's missing or let us know that they're okay. The American Red Cross has also activated their Safe and Well. I know Facebook has activated their I'm Okay portion of their app. So there's a number of ways that we're able to identify missing persons and then work through that list using law enforcement and other responders. Also, we kind of know where the flood happened, right? You can see it from the air, and so we'll have both aviation assets and people on the ground searching those areas for the next, until we've accounted for everyone.
Do you know how many families have been reunited?
I don't have that figure with me now, but we can follow back up with you.
Could you talk a little bit about the coordination with the Nashville Fire Department, and was that, for the swiftwater rescue, was that in some way prepared for or inspired by the floods we saw earlier this year in Nashville?
Certainly the 2010 floods, not just in Nashville but across Tennessee, was an impetus for organizing so that we could be fast. And we've put a premium on teamwork. No jurisdiction can have all the capabilities that they need, but working together, state and local departments across Tennessee, we can build those kinds of capabilities. And we practice together, we exercise together. Just 2 weeks ago, to be able to move fast, we've got mutual aid coordinators that come to the State Emergency Operations Center. We have plans, call down rosters, and we have folks that lean ahead and are ready to help. And so we've practiced this, and we're oftentimes the first provider and the biggest provider of mutual aid to other states, the hurricane states, for swiftwater capabilities. And we've organized both for out-of-state deployments and in-state deployments.
Patrick, while you're here, have you all looked yet at when the flash flood warnings came out locally? And I mean, it seemed like so many, as they often are, taken by surprise, but have you all looked into that yet?
I have not. Blake, I've not heard any problems with warnings at this time. So I know the National Weather Service was monitoring. We were watching, obviously, Flash Flood Watch, which happens often this time of year anywhere in the Southeast, but in Tennessee. And the National Weather Service, I know, was issuing lots of warnings. And the amount of rainfall, I think, was a surprise to all of us, but certainly they were crewed appropriately, and I think they were making notifications and issuing their warnings as quickly as they could see a problem.
Channel 2, do you have a question? Channel 4? We missed anyone? Channel 5? Gentleman in the red, do you have a question? All right, Governor, if you'd like to make any closing
Yep.
comments.
I will comment on your question about warnings. It was interesting. I talked to a family today about how fast this happened because I heard it so many times today in talking to people. Within minutes, they would see water in their yard, and within minutes, it was coming in their home. And then they would move to a neighbor who had a second floor, because literally within about a 5 or 10 minute period of time, they went from seeing floodwaters rise to not being able to escape their homes. It's dramatic. It was dramatic to hear the stories of how fast this happened in the community, which is part of the reason that so many people lost their lives, and there are still so many missing. I appreciate you all getting this information out. Tennesseans need to know what's happening to their neighbors. It's just a few counties over, and it is heartbreaking to see. And I know that Tennesseans will respond through the efforts that Patrick talked about, and we will continue to keep you updated and provide information as it's available. But I implore Tennesseans not only to reach out and to look for ways to help, but to pray for the heartache that's happening in Waverly, Tennessee. Thank you all for being with us today.